Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Loretta, and I woke up the other morning and my home felt so warm. I had just paid some bills the day before. I had a fridge full of food, and I had a overwhelming sense of gratitude. And I'm not trying to be super cheesy here, but it just made me think of what self-care really is. So to be quite honest, my feelings sort of waver back and forth from gratitude to scarcity, depending on the day and the mood. Nobody is perfect. But in this video, I would like to talk about that. And I have a list of 10 things that I think are true self-care practices. And the things on this list do not include going to the spa, getting your nails done, treating yourself to an expensive bottle of wine, face masks, or any of those types of things. Now, I don't want you to think that there's anything wrong with those things. I enjoy those things and doing those things. I just don't really see them as self-care. I see them more as luxuries. Hi everyone, I am currently editing this video and I just want to apologize for the shifty eyes. I am reading from a script that I wrote. I knew that if I didn't write a script that I wouldn't be able to get all of my thoughts together. So as I'm looking down, I am reading the points that I typed up. But I just wanted to make this short video. I am doing a lot of editing work. A lot has been put into it, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. But I just want to say I am aware that my eyes are looking down, and I try to look at the camera as much as I can. And in saying that, enjoy the video. So let's jump right in. The first thing on the list is getting a good sleep. And I'm not talking about resting as in sitting down after a long day in front of the TV and scrolling through your phone or reading a book. The actual luxury quality sleep. And I'll give you an example from my own experience. The last place that I lived was a rental, and I was not able to control the heat, and that apartment was so hot. They had the heat cranked up to uncomfortable temperatures, and keep in mind, I live in rural Ontario, and it gets really cold where I am by the lake, especially in the winter months. But it was so ridiculous in that place that I would sweat just sitting there in a tank top and shorts. Just to say, sleeping was horrible, and it would take me a super long time to get to sleep, and I would constantly wake up during the night. Also, the apartment faced the parking lot, and so the lights would seep in and just keep me up, and it really did make for a horrible sleep. Also, I was in the absolutely terrible habit of picking up fast food on my way home from work and eating it right before sleeping, and just all of those things combined made for a really bad sleep. And now I have a super dark room. I turn the heat off at night and avoid eating any heavy meals before bed. My sleep has improved greatly, and I feel revitalized the next day. So do what you need to get better sleeps. It is totally worth it. Make sure you have a good quality mattress and good quality bedding. Pillows really make a difference. And if you don't have the funds for these things, just save up and buy them when you can. It is totally worth it. And I also find that doing a 5-minute breathing exercise when I'm lying in bed trying to sleep really helps if I have racing thoughts. Number 2 on this list is reducing screen time. I know personally that when I spend too much time in front of my computer, I feel sluggish and get easily distracted from daily tasks. Also, studies have shown that too much screen time can increase anxiety and actually change the physical structure in your brain and lead to behavioral disorders in young people. I recently quit social media. It's been just a little over a month, and I'll probably make a separate video on that and how my life has changed since then. So number 3 is, if we are getting away from screen time, hopefully we are increasing our time in nature. If you live in a climate where you have nice temperatures, take advantage of nature, because it's just so rejuvenating to walk in the forest or just go for a walk and clear your head. And it's great for your soul. Unfortunately, I live in a very cold climate. For about 6 months out of the year, it is uncomfortably cold. And for 3 months out of the year, it's uncomfortably hot. But there are a few short months where the weather is absolutely perfect, and I really try to take advantage of this as much as possible. Number 4 is, this tip is kind of random, but it's an important one, and is to wear good quality, comfortable shoes. In my 20s and 30s, I wore some of the worst shoes. I don't even know how I walked around in those things. Everything from high heels to cheaply made wedges and shoes that would just tear up my heel, give me blisters, just because I was either trying to save a buck or wanted to look cute, but no more. I have a few pairs of shoes that I love, and I wear some not quite fashionable but very supportive runners for my job. I am on my feet, and my podiatrist recommended these shoes. They were quite expensive at $240, but I know my precious feet are being supported while I am working long hours. So do yourself a favor and invest in some comfortable shoes, and your feet will thank you in the future. There's no point in being uncomfortable when you don't have to. The 5th self-care practice that I like to follow is cooking for myself. I know life gets very busy, trust me, I know, but cooking for yourself is the ultimate act of self-care. Food is literally life. It's something that we need every day, and eating out can get very, very expensive. And what's the point of spending lots of money on food when ultimately we just shit it out anyways? And good homemade food is so much better for you because you know exactly what ingredients are going into it. And there's something very satisfying about cooking a homemade meal to nourish yourself. You don't have to make super fancy dishes, really just some protein and veg, add some carbs if you're not on a low carb diet, some seasonings, and you're good to go. I have a few recipes on my channel of simple meal ideas. I will link those videos below. I'm no expert at cooking, so if I can cook at home, you can too. Teach yourself how to navigate the grocery store and just buy things you like to eat. Stock your pantry or cupboards with a bunch of dry seasonings that you can just easily grab to give your recipes lots of flavors so that you actually enjoy cooking. You can cook in bulk and freeze your meals, so when you're super busy and super tired, you can just grab something from the freezer, thaw it, and reheat. And if you don't have proper cookware, you can buy yourself a good pan, a pot, utensils, whatever you need. And again, if you don't have the funds for these things, save up for it. I have a video on how I save for big and small purchases throughout the year by envelope stuffing, and I'll link it below if you're interested. If you're used to eating out often, then it'll definitely take more effort to cook from scratch. But trust me, it is good for your overall well-being. Number 6 is stop chasing perfection and thinking that you are not good enough. I struggle with this. I am a recovering people pleaser. I'm definitely getting better, but I still have my moments. Negative thoughts can be so poisonous to our well-being. Stop thinking about that stupid thing you said yesterday, that mistake that you made at work, that made the boss, the coworker snap at you, the huge regret you have from the past that's too late to change. Don't put off doing that thing or asking that question because you think you'll be judged. People are going to judge you. They're going to say things no matter what. If you wear a lot of makeup, you're trying too hard. If you don't wear makeup, you can use a little bit of lip gloss. If you're overweight, then you're lazy. If you're slender, then you need to eat more cheeseburgers. If you don't have a drink with dinner and just stick to water, you're cheap. If you pay for the entire table as a nice gesture, you're a show-off. People are going to say things and think things about you no matter what you do. So please remember that you are not responsible for other people's feelings, and the things that they say about you is none of your business. I know many people go by, if you have something to say it to my face. I'm the total opposite. If you have something to say about me, say it behind my back, because if I hear it, I'll probably ruminate about it, and I do not want to go down that dark path. This brings me to my number 7, which is not about you, but has to do with others, and that is simply to be kind. And yes, I think this is a form of self-care, because when you are kind to people, you attract other kind people, and good, honest, caring people will just naturally gravitate towards you. I'm not saying let people walk all over you. Just assume everyone is good, and all it will take is one conversation or one action and one interaction with that person for you to find out that someone is not a good person. And then you can choose at that point to not associate with them, but at least you did your part. Just because others are nasty does not mean you have to be. Just walk away. Speaking of not letting people walk all over you, number 8 on this list is standing up for yourself. This one is pretty self-explanatory, but can be very difficult to practice, especially if you are a recovering people pleaser like myself, as I mentioned earlier. I remember in the past working with a young man years ago. I'd been with this particular company for a few years and he was quite new, and he said that he noticed that I get along with everybody at work and people gravitate towards me because I'm really friendly, but that I also demand respect and no one takes advantage of me. And I never saw myself that way, but he did. And it was eye-opening to me how others see me. And I realized he was right. I'm not going to let anyone talk down to me or try to make me feel less than because of their own insecurities and lack of self-awareness. And you shouldn't either. Number 9 on the self-care list is having enough money to pay your bills. This is a huge one for me. I'll be making more videos on frugality and finances in the future. And I am not a financial advisor, so anything I say here is not financial advice. I'm simply speaking from my own experience, and I can confirm that I am much happier, peaceful, and content now that I have the ability to pay my bills than I was when I was broke. I'll be making a whole separate video and series of videos on my financial situation leading me up to this point in my life as a 43-year-old who has been working her whole life. But this particular point has made me very successful in prioritizing my self-care. Number 10, and the last point on my self-care list, is to keep your space clean. We all have different living situations. Maybe you live at home with your parents, or you live with your grandparents, or you have roommates, or you're renting a room in a house. Whatever your situation, keeping your space clean and tidy is vital to self-care and living your best life. Organize, declutter, clean, do whatever you have to in order to have a nice space. And your mental health and overall well-being will greatly improve. Let me know in the comments if you would add anything to this list. And I feel like this list for myself is ever growing. So I will more than likely be making a part 2 as my year progresses. This year, I have made a promise to myself to live well, and what that looks like to me is living frugally, cooking more at home, taking care of my home, and my mental and emotional health. I post videos on living below your means, saving money, cooking. So if you're interested in this type of content, please consider subscribing. And if you like this particular video, please give it a thumbs up, as it helps my video tremendously and is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.